What's going on, guys? It's One Chains Gaming back here with another video. Today we are going to be going over my new 6.6 lock build that I've been running here for the last, I'd say, probably a week or two. And if you guys are new to the channel, new to the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We are streaming a lot more, which will be over on the Twitch that you guys can get from my Twitter. I believe it should be pinned to the YouTube as well. But yeah, so the reason I went ahead and made a new lock is a couple of reasons. So the past couple of years, speed hasn't really been as big of a factor. So a lot of my locks, even though they were 6.3, were having like 80, 85 speed. They weren't all that quick necessarily, right? The other reason is all those builds had Legend Immovable. I just don't feel like a Legend Immovable is as beneficial as it has been maybe in the beginning of the year when we were all kind of trying to figure out what was the more prioritized badges, right? Another reason is with the new hand down mechanic. So even if you're holding up on the stick sometimes, you randomly just put your hand down because that's just what 2K wants you to do. And that's considered more of an open when you're shorter, rather than at least if I'm 6'6", it's a light. It may throw some moves timing off. So as you guys can see, the build, I called it Mikal Bridges because it's probably as close to Mikal Bridges build as I'm going to get. But obviously, name, jersey number, all that stuff, you guys can edit. Now for the position, I went shooting guard. The reason I went shooting guard is a lot of people I play with are on small forwards, right? So just to keep icons consistent for a point guard, I didn't want to be on a small forward, and then one game I'm playing the 2, one game I'm playing the 4, one game I'm playing the 3. Just that sort of thing, right? You guys can definitely still make it into small forward. It's the exact same stats as small forward. I think it becomes like a 3-and-D wing at small forward. So basically all the same thing. It's just it allows my point guard to have consistent icons, which I think is probably the more important thing for him. So we're gonna go 6'6". We're gonna go 223. Again, in past 2Ks, I would have gone a lot higher. But the reason you can't go as high with the weight is because when you max the wingspan, it drops your strength. So see how before I did that, our wingspan or our strength was at 90, right? Which if that's the case, then I could have, moved some things around. I could have made them lighter so I had more agility, that sort of stuff. But because of the wingspan knocking down your strength, I have to keep at 223 because that will be important for our immovable and a couple other things that I will bring up here in a minute. So as far as the finishing, we'll start here because this is probably the worst category on the build, right? So driving dunk, I went 73. The reason I went 73 is because you get bronze posterizer. It's really all it's there for, is just to make sure that you get the bronze posterizer, right? Now, standing dunk, I ended up going 75. The reason I went 75 is I had a couple extra attributes, and also I wanted the Giannis dunk package, right? So Giannis dunk package is going to be 72 driving, 75 standing. So for that, I feel like Giannis just gets the best, just in general, dunk animations. As far as on the break, you kind of get like a Euro step out of it almost, and a couple of different things like that. Now this is where everybody's going to call me psychotic. I actually went 70 post control. The reason for that is you'll get silver post fade, right? So if a possession's really boxed, our point guard runs out of adrenaline, anything like that, I can get thrown the ball in a post-up situation. I have a decent enough midi, you shoot a post fade, and you at least give that bailout to them as an option, right? It's not somebody has to chuck a heavy, this, that, and the third, right? You take a post fade. Post fades are pretty easy to time. You can time them pretty consistently. Now for the shooting. So this is where my cap breakers are going to come into effect. So I have my Vet 2 cap breakers as well as all the cap breakers we can get from seasons, right? So this is going to go to 84 here. The reason is because I'm going to use a cap breaker on this, so it goes to 85. The reason you want 85 midi is because that is where you get the closest thing to a pure green window on this game for a midi. It also ups your Deadeye to silver, and then eventually you can even add more. You can add like a max +1 to your set shot specialist, right? Sorry. Here we go. 3 ball. I went 83. Again, I'm going to be probably playing more of a hash roll in this build rather than a corner, but it will interchange. Obviously, we'll have guys that will come in that will be shooting guards. That'll be more of a hash lock for me, and I'll move to a corner. So that's why I only have bronze limitless, because I'm not prioritizing it. I prioritize max wingspan over shooting. I do every year. This is actually probably the highest 3-ball I have on a lock right now. Most of my locks are either 70 or 75 because I know I'm in a corner full time, but this one, it allows me to come up to the hash a little more, provide a little more offensive versatility. And then free throw, we just went 74. Really, as long as you have 70, you're fine. But because 2K is 2K, go 74. The higher free throw you can go, the more likely you'll avoid the kind of RNG free throws. Pass act is where people are going to call me a little different. Not really. So I went for bronze dimer. That's all I cared about. 55 pass act. I mean, no, you're not going to be able to throw an absolute piss missile. You can still throw a break if you get a board for some reason. You can still throw the passes as they're swinging around the perimeter. You just have to be a little more careful about trying to throw those quick hit-ahead passes, right? Because it takes a little bit longer. The animation's not as quick. So 55 is where I settled at for that. Ball handle and speed with ball will fix themselves as we get into the defense and the speed. Just because that's the only reason those even go up. We're actually going to go to our speed first. So speed on this, we are going to be at 89. The reason for that is you can eventually, if I get cap breakers, I probably will put them on speed. Once I hit, what is it? Vet 2, right? So I need my Vet 2 cap breakers. I have the ones from starter. Vet 2 will probably be the last set of cap breakers I get. So I can apply those here, and those will help with speed in general. And then obviously you're going to max your agility. You're going to max your strength. The reason you max your strength is for gold immovable. Immovable is a tier 2 badge. So if you have gold immovable, you can max +1 it. There's not a lot of things in tier 2 that you really want to prioritize over immovable. So it's a pretty easy, seamless transition just to max +1 that. And then vertical, I went with 70. Some of it is for high flying denier. And the rest of it is just because I didn't have any rolls to put it, to be honest. Rebounding really quick. We went 60 D-board. Just to get rebound chaser, just for those long rebounds that happen every now and then. If you guys have played Prime, you kind of know what I'm talking about. The rebounds that go free throw line plus for no reason. That's what this is for if I'm out on a break. Also, I do have the ability to, at least put a body on somebody. I'm probably going to get wormed, but at least if you put them in a worm animation, they're not able to go for the rebound right away. So that's kind of the big thing there. Block, we went 74. So the reason we went 74 instead of 68, because initially I was going to go 68 for high flyer denier. But if you go 74, you get paint patroller. So if you're playing a rim running guard, this will help pull them out of animations. If they end up getting a layup instead of a dunk, they'll more than likely miss it because you have paint patroller rather than not having paint patroller. Steal. Steal, we went 94. So let me go ahead. I'll put all these up and then I'll show where I put cap breakers, right? So we put +5 went to perimeter, obviously, because I want my legend challenger, legend on ball, that sort of stuff, because I am playing on ball. Steal, I went +2 because I wanted Hoff glove. I feel steal has been it's just not as good as it has been the last couple of pre-patches, right? I guess I should say. So before all my builds, it was 99, 99, no questions asked, end of discussion, right? But I've noticed now that I have this build, I get a lot more lanes because I'm taller, my wingspan's better. With Hoff Interceptor, I still get a decent amount of on-ball steals, but my on-ball steals aren't necessarily me going up to the point guard and just smacking it out of his hand, right? It's he does an extra cross or something on a screen, I time it right, I hit it with my kneecap, we're going the other way, right? It's not okay, you plucked him cleanly as he was doing a move. No, you're getting the janky animations that 2K has, like where you're hitting it with your knee, you're hitting it with the back of your leg, you're hitting it with your ankle, you're hitting it with your freaking elbow. Those sort of animations aren't necessarily tied to your steal, right? It's just an animation. So I would rather have the Hoff glove and save the ability to use cap breakers and other things rather than trying to make everything 99.99. And then we went 64 interior. I just had a little bit extra there. Let me see what else I missed. Oh, and then we put a little extra on layup just because you miss layups in this game in general. I had a little extra room. Throw it on your layup, make it a little better. But yeah, so that is the build right there. Here's what you guys can see as far as what badges it comes with initially, pre-cap breakers. So if you guys have no cap breakers, you might want to drop the steal down to like 91 and try and get your perimeter up as high as it can go. But yeah, like this build's pretty much designed for cap breakers, right? Even if you guys have extra cap breakers compared to me, like say you've already hit vet 2 and you have 13 cap breakers, you could probably go 5, 5, 1, and then I would put 2 here, right? But yeah, that's the build. Takeover wise, there's a handful of options. Don't go anything. Don't do the silky shooter. You're a lockdown. You're not here to play shooting, right? So the one I use typically is either Pest, because you get agility, you get steal, you get perimeter, or I'm using Nuisance, because you get agility and you get strength to help with the bumps. I will have to eventually try these two, just because I'm curious if I noticed a bigger steal percentage, I guess I should say, from the spoiler takeover as opposed to anything else. You also can get 3 and D, so if you guys are going to be a primary catch and shoot guy for your team, this is something I would go with if you're more of a rec player, or if you're using this ball as a shadow lock build, this is also a really good option too, because you guys can get your shots off on the break and things like that. And then lastly, let's see what we can compare it to. Eddie Jones, Keon Ellis, and you do get the Mikal Bridges comp on this one, which is why I called it Mikal Bridges. But it turns into a 3 and D 2 guard. So as of right now with cap breakers, it does not change the build name. Build name stays the same, in case you guys care about build name. But yeah, so that is that. And then we can go ahead and go in here really quick. And I will give you guys the jumper, SIGs, etc. I've been using. As you guys can see, I'm not even fully done with the build yet. And I've still been using it in leagues, and it's still been really fine. The last couple of, I think the last week I've been averaging like 5 steals a game. Just because you get better lanes on this build than you do anything else. So see right here, like I don't even have everything done, right? I don't have board done. I have, obviously my defense is pretty much done. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I focused on shooting, I focused on getting my perimeter, and then obviously your general attributes. But let's go ahead and go into animations here. So for the jumper here, we've got, I've gone back to shooting with the X button now. I'm kind of sick and tired of the stick. The stick kind of wore me out. It's just, it's not enjoyable anymore, right? You get too many load ups. There's just a bunch of things wrong with it. So Lamar Odom base for the height. You still get a decent release timing. And I just feel like I need to try something new, right? I had tried the Jarrett Culvers. I tried the Dyson Daniels. Tried a couple other ones. And it wasn't feeling good, mainly because I was shooting with the stick still. So I needed a clean slate. So Lamar Odom base, MPJ for hands 1, Oscar for hands 2. You guys can see I'm a couple of ticks past push. Obviously max release speed, and then 13% MPJ, 87% Oscar Robertson. I know my camera's kind of in the way, but you get basically A's around the board except for your timing stability, which is it's whatever. And then Brickberry free throw because I'm a troll. Layup, you don't really get one, so it doesn't really matter. Dunk package here, we can go into that really quick. So dunk package is Giannis, DeMar, and Clay is my equivalent of quick drops, right? So DeMar is more so for on the break. I probably will actually end up taking this off at some point just because I don't feel like it's as good. I would rather just get Giannis animations all the And then go two shot, Zach LaVine. Not many I can get, so Zach LaVine's just kind of a simple one. SGA dribble pull up, if you guys don't know. It's probably the best one for 6'6s, at least going to your dominant ball hand, right? So if you are a guy that likes to go to both hands, right, rather than just your dominant ball hand, it's really bad to the off ball hand. Really, really bad. But on your ball hand, it's fantastic. So since I'm more of a baseline fade every time, if I'm on the right side of the court, I'm fine. These don't matter. Post fade, Kobe, it's just the one I know the best. Post hook, these don't really matter. Motion style, I probably will switch. I just go Caruso because it's just typically the one I use. Obviously, there's no playmaking moves or anything except for Kobe Bryant for a triple threat because I don't have any of my dribble moves up. Even when I have dribble moves up, it'll probably stay basically the same. But yeah, so that is the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, you guys need help with builds, let me know. I do make builds for my friends a lot, so it's guards, centers, wings, locks, shooters, slashers, you name it. I've looked at it, so if you guys have any builds that you need made, comment them down below. And I appreciate you guys. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.